Hello, friends. Good morning and welcome to Pathways of Hope. My name is Adrian Menezes from Mumbai, India. Today's Gospel is taken from Luke chapter 1, verses 26 to 38. The story is about the Annunciation. This is a great testament of God's love for us, human beings. Us being His children, He comes to care for us. It is also the start of maybe one of the most significant stories in human history, the story of salvation. It is a testament also of human beings responding to God's love in radical ways. It is great that God used people in the past and God continues to use people today. And that there are so many stories of amazing saints, apostles, Mary and Joseph that stand as examples and witnesses to us of what it means to radically say yes to God. How many times have we had excuses of why we cannot live a radical life? I ask myself that question and I have many excuses. We can say we have financial problems or we have personal problems or family problems or relational problems. There's just a lot of excuses that we can give of why we cannot say yes to God. I'm sure Mary and Joseph had a lot of excuses of why they couldn't say yes to God. But this is not a story of just amazing human determination and power and mental capacity. It is not a story of amazing people at all. It is a story of God's mercy and grace. There's a reason God chooses people. And it is not because they are amazing human beings. It is because He makes them amazing when they say yes. He qualifies, He equips them when they say yes. All they need to do, or all we need to do, is say yes. And for that, we need faith. We need to close our eyes, stop looking at ourselves, and actually start looking at God with our eyes of faith, that He can do something amazing. Stories of amazing people in the Bible, there's a lot. But they always have humble beginnings. And the stories are meant to point us to God's work, or what God is doing, or who God is. His initiative, His love, His mercy. God is doing a lot of amazing things, and He wants to do amazing things. And He wants us to participate in that. As His sons and daughters, He calls us, He invites us into that participation in His amazing work. We have to say yes, though. What do we say yes to? We say yes to that call, that invitation. We say yes to His will in our life. We say yes to living a daily life that points to Him. When we do that, we actually give our wholehearted yes to God. Verse 35 in today's passage says, "The Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you." The power of God overshadowing things we cannot do. Our weaknesses, our failures, anything that we may be tempted to take pride in, God can overshadow that and bring something amazing out of it. 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 9 says, "My grace is sufficient for you, and my power is made perfect in weakness." Therefore, St. Paul says, "No longer will I boast in my strengths, but in my weaknesses, so that God will be glorified in that." One more thing that I wanted us to reflect on today is from verse 37. It says, "For nothing is impossible with God." I think we've all heard this, and even though we may even say it ourselves that nothing is impossible with God, a lot of us don't really live with this in our mind constantly. As Christians, what do we believe? We believe that God is omniscient. That means He knows everything. He's omnipotent. That means He can do everything. He's omnipresent and omnibenevolent. We believe that God can do all things. Let us not lose sight of that in everyday life. It is not just a truth that's out there, but it is a promise of God to us that He is omnipotent. And He is omnipotent. He shares that with us because of His love for us. My encouragement for us today as we meditate on this passage is to think about God's love for us individually, to think of His love for the human race in sending His Son, and also the privilege we have of saying yes to His invitation to participate in an amazing work. He can overshadow our weakness and bring something amazing out of it. If you've been blessed by this reflection, please share it with your friends and family. God bless you all. Have a wonderful day.